Hello, today I'm at my favourite place. I'm up Staple Tor. I think it's Middle Staple Tor. I'm on my way to Great Staple Tor. I'm doing a time lapse up the one. I've done a couple today. The cloud is looking really fantastic. I'll show you. Beautiful day today. Not great for photography, but I've come up here today. I'm going to shoot some black and white today because it's got a nice blue sky, nice fluffy white clouds, which normally I don't like very much. But today, being in black and white, the blue will go in post-processing, the blue will turn dark, the white clouds will be white, so it really stand out. And with the rock formation up here, it should be quite some interesting photos. And I've done this, I'm doing a time lapse at the moment. I've done, this is my third time lapse today up here, because the clouds are not moving very fast, so they tend to, when you do a time lapse, if you do like 1 second or 2 seconds, which is what I've got, 1 or 2 seconds intervals, because the clouds are moving slow, they tend to billow when you play it back, and that's what I like. I'm not very keen on fast moving cloud. I like the heavy billowing cloud, which you have to have patience and wait sometimes, because I've been waiting for ages to come up here and do this. But to me, time lapses, I know what I want and I know I'll get it if I wait long enough. And hopefully today this will be it, and I'll stick them on at the end of this video and show you what it's like. But I've done literally, I wouldn't say hundreds, but I've done something like 40 or 50 time lapses around Dartmoor coast, in the city, and I just find them fascinating to do, fascinating to process them. You got to de-flicker sometimes. And you post-process them like a normal image, and you have keyframes that you process individually, and then they get synchronized with all the others. So it's quite a long, laborious task, but I absolutely love it. It's absolutely brilliant, because you never know what your time lapse is going to turn out until you actually put it on the computer and run it through for the first time. And sometimes you think, well, yeah, that's a bit boring. Other times you think, that's great. So it's hit and miss with time lapses. It's all to do with shutter speed. It's all to do with intervals, light, cloud movement, a lot of things. But hopefully today it should be all right. But the cloud is really nice today. I've got a 70 to 200mm lens on, so I've got to have the shutter speed up at least 300th of a second to compensate any movement in the lens. It's not very windy today, so it should be all right. So hopefully, but this is how you learn with time lapses. You just go out and do it, and if you make a mistake, try to remember not to do it next time. Like I said, that time lapse is it's 300th of a second, 2 minute interval, and that's been going on for some time. I'm doing 300 shots at 25 frames per second, 25 frame per second playback. 240 will give you 10 seconds, so it's 24. You got to take 24 images, get 1 second of video. So that's how you work it out. So the longer the interval, the longer it takes to shoot it. I've got a remote on. You can do it in camera, but the trouble with it in camera, if you do day to night or night to day, where you have to bow ramp your camera, which means you have to adjust the ISO in between intervals, shutter speed and everything to compensate for the light. You can't do it if you're doing it in camera. You have to have an external remote, so you can adjust the ISO and the shutter speed to compensate for the lack of light or the increase in light, whichever way you do it, day to night, night to day. So I've done quite a few of them, and they are tricky, and you have to get ready to adjust it in between the intervals. If you're doing like 8-10 second interval, that's quite easy to do because you've got 8 seconds before the next image shoots off. But if you like 5 seconds, you've got 5 seconds to get ready and adjust the ISO or the shutter speed. So it is quite tricky, but it takes plenty of practice, like anything you do in photography, all takes practice.